Well, welcome back to True House Stories. I'm Lenny Fontana coming out of New York City, and I love the Windy City. You all know that I always somehow find myself Windy City, Windy City, going to the Windy City because a lot of our house roots or the trunk, the tree trunk, so because it's bloomed into EDM and all that other stuff. Soulful house, Afro house, Puerto Rican Boricua house, Cavo house, whatever house music you're into. Somehow the tree trunk, you have to go back to the core of it. And you ever see a tree trunk, it's usually when it's older, it's wider and it has rings of wisdom. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I have to bring up these true legendary people. Because there was a time where this man mentored Adamski, and Seal went on to be who he became. Seal, the artist. Worked on a track in the early, mid 80s, I'm going to say. You all know it. Shake Your Body Down. Jeanette Thomas. You know what I'm saying? We played that record. It was killed in New York, killed in Chicago. It was on, if I remember, Chicago Records, something like that. But we'll have this man clarify it. Went on to DJ, became an arranger. He's a producer, an accomplished musician, writer, philanthropist. He's got a heart of gold, known forever. He's even doing movie scores. He's going to tell you about that too. And he's even getting an award because a lot of people that we all know decided to leave the country and find a better life or a momentary life or find a partner and found their place in Europe where you feel free, you're able to work with a lot of great emerging talent. And with a man like this and the plethora that he gives you in musicality, you can understand why I'm excited to bring to True House Stories, Mr. James Perri, A.K.A.
Hey, what's happening, man? I mean, that's a beautiful intro you gave me, man. I don't know what to say. I'm kind of like, caught up. No, I'm happy to be here, man. And thank you for your time. I really appreciate it, man. Really.
Well, Jimmy, you came to me, man. You're like, Lenny, I got to tell my story. Let me be
Right.
clear. There is no video with James Perry's Jimi Polo story.
Nah.
First time. And we got him right here on True House Stories because I was
That's right.
looking, I was scouring the internet,
Uh,
Googling, I'm going, a
right.
lot of records, a lot of
Hmm.
tracks,
Right.
a lot of paper interviews, a lot of magazine stuff, but no formal interview. So
That's
welcome
right.
to the show, my brother. Welcome
Well,
to
thank you, man. Man, big ups to you. Thank you. Really appreciate you having me here this morning, should we say?
Well, we're not in the Windy City. We're in New York. Where am I talking to you as of right now? Where are you on the
I'm
planet?
I'm in Zagreb, Croatia right now in my studio, Vagabond Music Studio here. So I've been here now, Croatia, more than 13 years. My daughter's 13, so I came here and to make sure I was gonna be that guy and stand up on it. So that's what I'm here. I'm up on that.
All right. Well, let's get right into it because
Right,
I make it real simplistic. We're
right.
going to take us. No one paints a story better than the fellow person that walked in those shoes day to day. So we want to
Hmm.
take it back to the beginning when either music found you as a young kid or you found the music.
Ooh, the music found me. I was going to a lot of, oh, should we say, I was going to church a lot with my mom, Sanctified Church, Chicago South Side, and I seen certain performers that just it blew me away. I couldn't believe it, and I wanted to be a part of that. And I started really getting into it, with guitar first, and then moving over to piano. But yeah, music, it's in me. It just flows. It flows, man. Truth be told. I'm standing on that because it's like my life. That's what I done. The funny thing is, I should have been a chef, actually. A lot of people don't know that. I was working at the Westin Hotel in Chicago, O'Hare. And I was like back in the day. And all of a sudden, I got, myself a drum machine and everything. And I started making beats, house music, and that Jeanette Thomas thing, Libra Libra. We were just starting out. We were trying to see what we could do. And it was on from there. It really was. I could say it's left an impact in my heart where I can honestly say I'm very proud to say I still do this. But going from level to level, moving from house music to soul music to jazz music to film music. So I'm very well pleased, to be where I'm at right now. It's a real blessing.
So let me be clear and ask
Yes,
this question. The
yes.
musical part, are you professionally trained or did you do it by ear? And what instruments are you able to work with and with your craft?
Okay. I started off with guitar. Started playing guitar first, and then I moved to piano, and then I went on to go to Europe and start studying music in France later on down the line. So, yes, I can read it and I can write it. So it's like if people say, "Are you classically trained?" I was like, pretty much so. But in early days, I didn't study as much. But when I got to Europe, I took it on very seriously because I believe that, okay, man, if you really want to be on levels, you need to learn how to really, really play and really how to write music and compose on any level. So that's what I've done.
Well, judging back to the early Chicago stuff, now everybody knows that record with that piano lick. Okay. Were you at that time playing by ear or did you already have the training, the physical training of, you say classically trained. When you say to me classically trained, you were doing preludes, sonatas, on all that stuff on
Right,
piano. Were
right.
you already up to that part, or were you just playing like, dumbifying yourself down? Because piano and
Yeah.
house music is simplistic to
It
what
was it was simple, to be honest with you. It was very simple. Me and my partner at the time, Tony Bowie, Denard Bunton, man bless him. We just banging out beats, like, I would come to the club actually. We would set up and we would test everything we had with a 707 rolling drum machine, never forgot it. And an ESQ1 and a JX. Man, we were just trying to just like do what we could do, but in a cool way, trying to make a sound and here and there. And that's what we did. And then I just took it to a level like I really want to do this. So, I really started really studying music, how to really write it, how to, really play it, classical, jazz. And I really was taking that on, blues as well, big time. Because on the south side of Chicago, the blues scene was pretty serious. So, it was that carried me on, and everybody, I just thought, okay, okay, here we go. And I stuck with it, really.
in the dance music side,
Mm-hmm.
you're hanging out with your boy and you're testing stuff out with a rolling 707.
Yeah.
That's pre everyone 909 and 808 drum machines.
That's right. That's right. That's true.
Okay.
Yes.
So he's working with, and in that time, it was actually made, that rolling drum machine, if I remember correctly, was made to accompany an organ,
Well, it was
right?
give
Like
or
a
take.
rhythm composer, like a
Yeah,
rhythm.
rhythm composer. Yeah, supposed to accompany you. Yeah.
Did you know at the time you were testing all this music out, what was going on around you in the fishbowl of Chicago? Like,
Yeah, yeah,
for example,
yeah.
Frankie, Ron Hardy, all those stories.
I mean, Ronnie and Frankie were instrumental in my career because I mean, we cut Shake Your Body, Jeanette Thomas at Tone Zone Studios on the west side. It was Cabrini Green back then. It was like, yeah, the hood. And those things, we were just trying things out, bottom line, and trying to make a sound that would fit with some of the Euro music that was coming in, like Yellow and some people like that. And we were trying to match that up really, but something came about it in a different way because we couldn't do disco music. We didn't have the live strings and horns, so we basically kind of improved it on a JX8P rolling and those things. So it was like a new sound, but it was really trying to be disco, to be quite honest.
Is that because disco was so popular still, or was
Oh
it an
yes.
underground thing?
It was popular until certain things happened at Comiskey Park, and I think it came to a point where it went back underground. And that's where guys like me from the South Side, we were like, okay, we're going to take it here and try to, imitate our legends. Some people like Linda Creed, who was a great songwriters, and people like that. The Philadelphia sound. We were trying to be on that, but we couldn't really do it with a synthesizer. You really need to have real cats. And that's also what drove me to really learn orchestration, learning it, how to put string players in the room and really do it. Man, that's what it was all about at that time. And I came up and I was like, okay, man, I wish I had a string section. But we did what we could with what we had. So there you go.
So please tell everyone, explain to everyone the 80s at Cabrini Green, because I've heard about Cabrini Green,
Oh,
and
Cabrini Green.
you got to really give us what the landscape was and how to get coins together to make a studio session happen, because that don't come free.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I can honestly say Mitch Ball, he passed away about a year and a half ago. And he was the guy that gave us a shot at it. Me and Tony Boy, and we were Libra at the time, and we thought we was so cool. We had our little drum machines and everything, and he gave us a shot at that and put us on Chicago Connection. And big respect to him. He's no longer here, but he's very instrumental in Chicago's dance music scene. Truth be told, I say that with all honesty. And then things changed. It was just Cabrini Green was Tone Zone Studios, beautiful studio in the middle of the projects, and we would go over there, but it wasn't so hardcore that it was really bad. But you just went over there and done your music and got back to the South Side in that case. But Cabrini Green was something else. And it's funny that we talk about these things because it's no longer there like that. It's all gentrified now. It's like you wouldn't even know where you were. But that's how it started.
Gunshots.
Yeah, yeah, hoodlum situations. You had your vice lords. Yeah, you had your vice lords. You had your GDs.
Is on the corner.
Yeah, 40s on the corner. No internet at the time, so anything could happen. So you didn't know. There was no like if you had to be somewhere, you had to make sure you got there because there was no telephones or no texting or anything like that. It was just really the city back in the 80s. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And
Describe.
things are changing.
Yeah, no, I get it. I get it because Chicago. That's what makes the music the music.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Because there's something going on in the street,
Uh-huh.
and the roughness and the survival tactic of living through it.
Exactly. I could point out like my man Adonis, we were rocking down the house. That was like something that blew us away, man, too far gone, no way back. And Larry Heard, we would go down and hear these clubs, hear them down at the music box and also at Mendel, which was on the south side, which was like a real preeminent place to be at the time. So, it was like, oh man, check, you got to go down here. And you hear all these tunes, but it was sound that you didn't hear before, but you liked it. And that's how it really, went down for me. I was just like, okay, Fingers Inc. I was like Robert Owens. I was like, oh, Chippy, Marshall stuff. It was like a revolution came about just trying to create a vibe. And that's what that really was. I can honestly say that.
All right, Jimmy. So Chicago Connection, you get the chance to
Yeah,
sign a
yeah.
track. I'm not going to say the track. Let's just talk about the idea that is this the first professional contract that you received before this, or is it maybe a second or third one, like deals wise?
My goodness. Let's say it like this. It was sign and just play. We didn't understand. We didn't have lawyers. We didn't do it. We just went in there. We was happy to be in the studio. I was like, yeah. And also I was working still. I was still working at as a chef in Chicago at the, Westin Hotel O'Hare. I was out there. So we would take this on the side and go and do what we did. And Chicago Connection was the first chance that we got. We didn't know anything about publishing or we was just happy to have our music out there. That's what made it all happen. We was happy, like, yeah, gonna be on the radio. Farley's gonna play us. A few other Hot Mix 5 guys. As long as we could be heard, sometimes that was just a wonderful thing. And we didn't know. We didn't know.
When
We're
did you
business.
realize? When did you realize the track blew up?
You know how I found that out? Justin Berkman and Darius Fisher came to Chicago. I hadn't been to New York yet. And they was like, dude, you did that track, Shake Your Body, man. What's happening with that? And I was like, yeah. They was like, it's blowing up, man. I was like, okay. Then that's how I found out. And, Justin came to the south side of Chicago, literally. At a time, a white English dude was like, yo, he wasn't afraid. He was like, yo, I'm coming over to the south side, man. Come and DJ. And with Aaron Metzler, too. He was from New York. Aaron Metzler, old school dude. And I met him. And I started talking about going to New York. And I did. After that, he told me all that news.
Let me hang on. Let me describe what Justin Berkman looks like. He's a white boy with blonde hair.
Facts.
Blonde hair. And
Yeah.
in Chicago, on the south side, what's that white boy doing over here?
Yeah, exactly.
Who the hell's with that? What's with that accent? You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like,
yeah, that too. It was funny because I thought, okay, this dude seems pretty cool, but he's English, but we thought he was pretty cool though. I was like, damn, this dude English like he's talking like this, like, oh, he might chat me, we're gonna take you over, get to New York. And the next thing you know, once getting to New York, and I thought, okay, now I know the business here. Here we go, here we go. And then I went to London because he brought me to London, and I never looked back at that point. That was 1987. 87, man. I went to London back in the day.
give us that a man from Chicago leaving Shy and crossing the transit. You got to explain that. That's a big thing. All these
Man.
things, all these steps
Huh?
on the road of Jimi Polo.
Right.
It's huge. They're huge steps. You don't look at it that way because you lived them, but they are monumental. So tell us about that.
Well, I quit my job. I quit my job. I told my moms and my pops that I was leaving. They was like, "Are you really serious?" And I took off, and yeah, that was August 27th, 1987. August 27th. I never forgot it because I went with my keyboards. Yeah, I had a keyboard. Yeah, I had the JX with me, and yeah, ESQ1 in Sonic, and the drum machine in the bag, and it's in the luggage. And I got over to England and never looked back. So that was a moment of truth. Like, okay, I'm going to do this no matter what people say. Like, man, you don't know nobody over there but Justin. Really? Are you serious? You doing this? I was like, yep, I'm doing this. Because I realized what was going to be there in Chicago was not going to be the monumental move. Because we didn't know anything. We didn't know nothing about royalties and rights and things like that. So I just took off, and then I learned the business as I went on.
My brother's School of Hard Knocks.
Facts. Yeah.
Okay, now, in the hood and family, the first thing that they were going to say to you was, you can't do that. You heard that. Man, why do they want you? Why did they want you, Jimmy? Tell the world, why did London want you? And when you went there, what did you give London?
I gave London like that straight Chicago piano vibe. I was on that. And I was also trying to, get my playing up to levels. We had levels, we wanted to always exceed. And I got to London and I lived in Camden Town, 29 Camden High Street. Me and the Damski. He lived upstairs. I lived on the first floor. It was a bed set. And at that time, I was trying to hustle too, because I still had that Chicago vibe. Like, yo, man, I'll go and do this live. So I started doing some of the raves, like the Pirate Club. Those who know, they know. Nikki Tracks. I did Confusion. Early days. And I was just trying to basically pay for the rent. As people was like, man, okay, that's what he's on. All right, all right. So I started making more beats, and then what's his name? Dave Pierce. He signed Better Days, 1988, and that was the Summer of Love. So that song became something of a special tune. People didn't even talk about Shake Your Body. Those who knew knew. Basically, they like this Better Days thing and Free Yourself, man. We on it. And I took it from there, man, and started,
But
really
that's my
doing it.
point. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? That's what I was saying. What did you say to London? And London, you said, here is Better Days.
Yes.
Bum, bum, yeah, piam, bum,
Yeah,
bum,
yeah,
bum,
yeah.
bum, bum. A cult
And
classic. A cult classic, everybody.
it was a B side, bro. That was a B side. Free Yourself was the A side. Dave was like, "What else you got?" And I say, "Oh, I got this song here on the beat, Better Days." And he's like, "Yeah, that's the one." And that was it. That was on Urban on Polydor, and that record company was in Hammersmith at the time. And my good friend Kenny Boots, DJ, he lived in Shepherd's Bush. And I said, man, I'm going up here to try to get this record deal. I was like, okay. And that's where it really happened at. We talking 88. Yeah, they were starting to change. A lot of cool things in London was happening. It was very creative at the time. I mean, I know Adamski, he copied a good vibe from me with using the Ensoniq keyboard and with a more edgier sound than myself. I was really deep house. I was, on some deep house business, but he was like, cutting edge. He was going with the 909 out and doing stuff live as well. I think Nicky Trax broke that for him, and I introduced him at Sunrise. There's some tapes around of me actually saying, ladies and gentlemen, this is Adamski. And that was the rest of it. He started up after that. And I kind of like moved on. I started doing other things.
Were you around him when that whole thing happened with Seal?
Yes, yes, yes.
So
Seal
what was
knows
that
me
like
very
for
well.
you? Yeah, tell
Oh,
us.
that was
Tell us.
cool. Sil was a cool dude. He was dressed in all black. He was kind of like a nomad. I was like, dude, who's this dude? But he had a vibe about him. So Adam tried him out for the track Killer, and it really worked out. Who knew? No one knew that that would happen like that. And then all of a sudden became a Stone Cold anthem. And Seal, once again, he moved on, signed to, what's his name, Trevor Horn. He signed to ZTT. I never forgot that. And he did his thing. Respect to him. He did what he needed to do, and he made an impact. I think Adamski feels some way about it, but okay, we'll see.
Well, we all went and know what happened to Seal. Seal went on to become the superstar performer.
Yeah, he
Heidi
did.
Klum and all that stuff later
Yeah,
on. Divorced her kids later and all that stuff decades later.
and
But
the
you're
funny
in the
thing,
raw stage, brother. You're in the creation of what was to
right.
come.
I will say this about Seal. I never forget. We were at Ministry of Sound one night, and he told me, he says, "Man, I'm leaving London. I'm going to L.A." I was like, "What you gonna do in L.A.?" They're not going. L.A. didn't really understand house music, but I think he went there to do some other things, and he did. And I said we were sitting down. Actually, at that time, it was early ministry because they had a cinema in there. It was a juice bar, but you could dance all night, and the music was good. And he said, "Man, I'm out of here." And I was like, "All right, I'll catch up with you." And he took off. But that song was dedicated to me for some support because he knew, I taught Adamski a lot of stuff on the sequences. So that, even to the day, a lot of people know that.
I'm glad you sharing that with us because it needed to be said.
Yeah, I mean, respect to Adamski, and Seal, some good dudes. They changed the game as much as myself, and more power to them because they were good. Adam, he was in a punk band, Disco D'accord at the time, and then when we met, he was like, "Man, they got sequencing, man, and damn, I love to say how you playing this," and he went on and did his thing. Yeah, yeah, definitely. And he took it to a level too. Killer is all George Michael covered it. And that goes to tell you how good that song was. I mean, at the time, it made people feel some way. Same thing, with Better Days. It still don't understand. I think I wrote better songs than that, but at the end of the day, it's still here. The song is still here. Incredibly.
That's what makes it timeless.
Yeah, yeah. And kids remix it all the time. You got Ed O'Beron and Paul T, the guys doing re-recordings, drum and bass remix of Better Days. So that's going to be good too. I mean, it keeps coming back. And that's great for me because I think so long ago, please, that's the old song. But no, the kids are like, man, can we do a remix? Yeah, sure.
Go ahead, knock yourself out.
Knock yourself out. And they done a good job too. That's coming out on V Recordings, Brian G's label, and Gareth. They just like, we want to do this. I was like, okay, I'll do it.
You never thought when you produced a B-side track that they would still be talking to you 30 something years later, right?
Exactly. I'm still even looking at it like, does that really make sense? I've done better songs, I swear. And the song will not go away.
You just
It's
don't
still
know.
here. Yeah,
You
you
don't
don't
know.
know.
You don't know. You just do the songs in the hopes
Yeah.
that every song attacks the people that way. You don't.
I
You all,
mean,
we've all had that.
it's incredible, Lenny, because Fatboy Slim made a remake of it. DJ Sasha made a remake of it, and it got in the charts. And I thought, who does that? Because I was thinking, I'm still, I'm trying to get my levels of piano playing really together and timing. And them tunes are still going on. Fatboy Slim, Congress, 40 Miles, got on top of the pops, and then Sasha's remix of it. So it will not go away anytime soon. And the youngsters are coming for it as well.
I hope with that track you had really good business done on it. I'm not gonna even ask. I'm just
Yeah, yeah, the
hoping.
publishing, yeah, Wise Music, they looked after me pretty good. I ain't gonna lie. Susan Tilley up there, Wise Music, and Nigel, they was like, man, we gonna work with you on this. I was like, okay. Dirk Lange, okay. Because I thought, now the business is in order. We know about our royalties and our publishing, and there you go. So as you learn as you go.
Yeah, because actually there's no school for that stuff. There's no like at the time you were school hard knocks, street knocks.
Yeah, yeah, we were just happy to be there. Like I said, Jeanette Thomas, we just sorted that out. That she has her side of the publishing, I have my side of we didn't know. We just did what we did. And we were just happy to be on the radio, basically, and be talked about. It was kind of cool, like, yeah, 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 yeah. You heard my radio track? Yeah, I heard it on the radio the other day. And it was dope, because you felt some way in your heart about it. You felt like, yep, I'm going somewhere. Yep, I'm doing this.
I'm on my way.
I'm on my way. That's what it was. And people, I was still taking the subway to work. And people said, man, I heard your song on the radio, man. And I was like, really? That was cool. But we didn't care about the business. We just wanted to be famous for the moment. I think Jeanette, she came from a very good family, and I think that she was real gospel orientated, and so I don't think her people was too pleased about talking about shake your body. I mean, words that the people say back then was nothing like they say now, as you know. And we did that, that body, when she said body, everybody's like, oh, they went crazy for it. And the funny thing is, who broke that track? Ron Hardy did. We finished it at Tone's on one night, me, Tony, and Jeanette. We went down. Mitch drove us down to the original music box down on Wacker, and we played it to Ron before everybody came in. He says, I like this, baby. It's going to be cool. So I thought, oh, he probably just saying that. Following week, I came back because of the music box guy, and he put on the tune. He mixed it with James Brown Body Heat. It went bananas. And he looked at me, he's like, you see, it's all good. Like, and that's what took it off. And after that, it got to New York, I think via Frankie and Larry Levan, they started playing that. Yeah, big time. Because it was like, who knew? Who knew that tune would just be something of a cult classic as well? Who knew? We were young kids trying things.
Dude, that was a Larry Levan special on a Saturday night. Are you
That's
kidding?
what they told me. Yeah,
I
Justin
heard it
told me
there
that.
myself.
Yeah,
I heard it there
yeah,
myself.
yeah. As soon as they
Larry
heard it,
Levan Disco Saturday night track.
yeah.
Boom, 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 boom. Body. So you heard that?
Yeah,
Body. Oh, forget it. Screaming, craziness, mayhem.
I
Run to
couldn't
the dance
believe it.
floor.
Man,
Believe it.
I couldn't believe it because I went to New York because Justin said, man, I stay on Thayer Street, fly to New York. When I came to Newark. And I had the first time been to Newark. And we got down there, he stayed on Thayer Street down there in Manhattan. And he took me to the World, someplace named the World. It was dope. And he was like, you see, this track, he'd be doing more of this. And after that, man, I came back to Chicago. I actually told Jeanette, I said, I'm leaving. I'm leaving Chicago and I'm going to New
Why
York
you leave?
City.
Why you leaving, Jimmy? Why? Why? They're all asking, right? They're like, "Where
Yeah,
you
yeah.
going?"
I seen progress when it needed to be done. It wasn't like, oh, okay, this is there and this and that. And I just said, okay, that's it. I know now I need to go this way. Y'all want to stay here? Stay here. And they did. And Jeanette, even today, she hasn't been to New York. She might not really understand the velocity of that track. Cause I heard Madonna, that was one of her favorite tracks to dance to. Facts. I was told to me, I heard about it. I was like, really? Because Madonna used to go to the Paradise Garage all the time. So I heard the stories. So it's like,
Yeah, but you got to
okay,
understand something. After Garage closed, that record was a New York anthem because Rome Ricardo, everybody was playing that record. Louis
right.
Vega, everybody was playing that
Yeah, he
record,
told me about it.
including,
Louis told me.
including me, Freddie Bastone. Everybody
Very
played that
best.
record. That was
Yeah.
that was one of your staples in your night for sure.
Kenny Dope told me the same thing as well. But for me, it was just like, I can be better. And I always strive to be better. But at that point in my life, I thought, okay, man, really get into this music thing now, man. Make sure you know what you're doing. And I took it on, man. I took it on with all my heart and soul, man. For real.
What do you know, like Justin and all them at the time saying, yo, man, you need to be doing more records like this. How do you make that fire and magic again? Or do you just say, I'm just going to focus on whatever I'm doing at the time?
You know what? I had met a great singer in London, Miss Ruth Brown, and she gave me that energy again. I felt something about when I was doing Back for More and Feels Like Love. I just thought, yeah, that could be some anthematic stuff. And I felt that way about it. And I came back, Justin was like, see, you still got some of that in you. And I was like, yeah, I do. Because we did that at his studio, actually, Back for More and Feels Like Love. And we did another track that's like a Stone Cold disco classic. They told me they still play it. With Ruth Brown, Where Do We Go From Here? Yes, that song there, because I found my niche and I was starting to really feel musically inclined. I was creating things that I thought, yes, this is right. And that song there, still to me, is like one of the best pieces I might have.
But, and I say with a but,
But
were you on trajectory in your heart to do dance music or R&B really?
both.
Because at that time R&B was very, very prevalent. Not like now, but that was the sound.
The great thing about doing R&B, when I got to London, I transferred over, signed to Soul to Soul. Jazzy B was my boss, and him and Nelly Hooper. That's when I really learned about the business. The charismatic Don Taylor, who, man, a stone legend. If you ever want to meet, that was a legend. I didn't know he managed Prince back in the day, the Temptations. Oh man, the list goes on. He had Bob Marley, and he was almost assassinated. So when I met him, he was managing Soul to Soul. I signed to Soul to Soul for 2 years, and I was on the song "What's the Meaning of Life." That's me playing keys on that. Nelly Hooper gave me that job. I mean, I learned the business from Nelly Hooper. Really learned the business. Yeah, that was a great moment. In 89, 90, yeah. I transitioned from the house scene. I started doing R&B heavy. Man, that's
Okay,
what you
so
see.
when Nelly Hooper sits you down, what's the first thing he says to you about the business?
He said, "Do you know about publishing?" I was like, "Not really." I didn't know. And he said, "Look, I'm gonna get you a publishing deal on the Chapel Music, Sass Metcalf." And I signed there and I said, okay, this is where you belong, as a songwriter, people placing your songs. Yes. And it took off from there for me. Nelly Hooper was a like real instrumental dude, like teaching me the game of publishing the business. He was like, dude, this is what you should be doing. I was like, okay. So I learned that Nelly Hooper, dope dude, man. Jazzy B too, man. They looked out for me. For real.
That's some serious players.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, like you're not playing with some amateur. These are veterans of the game.
Yeah, yeah. Jazzy, like he was a great DJ. He also knew the music well. Same thing with Nelly, being from Bristol, the Massive Attack things that it was going on with. Man, the dude, they knew their music, man. I got to give respect to Soul Soul on that level. Man, just some great times, man. I mean, I really kind of blew up on that level, man, from there. I looked at house music, but I looked at it in a different way. I didn't think anymore, okay, I have to stay here. I can do this too. And that's what I did.
When you're in the middle of the soul to soul era, Did you actually think that concept would have became what it did, or you were just flowing along in the position, going, "Let's see what happens." Let's just
Once again, I signed to the label Soul Soul Records. The Jazzy is a very business orientated dude, so he had me, Mademoiselle, Lamia. Don't we miss her? Dynamic person, man. Missing Lamia, Victoria Wilson James, and that was for me, a label mates. We was all label mates, because Nelly was going to produce me, and then they decided to split because they both, decided to go different ways. So all of us was kind of pulled apart, and then I went to sign to Paul Oakenfold at Perfecto Records. That was 1991, 92. But Solar Soul was mega. I mean, I never seen anything like it. I mean, I came back home and I went to clubs. Cats was like, "Man, what's up with that Solar Soul stuff?" I had all the Solar Soul clothes and everything, tour jacket. I felt invincible, but things changed. But I did meet some great people along the way. Lenny
yeah.
Kravitz. Lenny Kravitz is one, and Terrence Trent D'Arby. I never forgot that. We hung out. Some good people, man. That was really cool.
And you mentioned Oakenfold.
Yes, mega dude, man,
It was
mega dude.
another legend in our game.
Yes, yes, still is, still
So
going.
yeah, totally with Perfecto still going strong. So
Yes,
what did you sign, or what position did you play with Paul Oakenfold?
I signed to do an album deal. I left Soul to Soul, and I signed to Perfecto. There was Gary Clell, it was Carl Cox and Grace, Robert Owens, and I signed to the label. Actually, truth be told, Paul, he got his own label deal. He was with Profile Records at one point because I was going to sign through him to Profile Records and back in the day. And that didn't happen. So he took the BMG deal, and Perfecto came about and to fruition, and we moved on it. And I released Express Yourself, and there's an album that has never come out. No one has it. They do, but I wouldn't let them play it. No, you can't find it. They did a full album on Perfecto, soul album. There's even some video that I haven't put up yet. I haven't released it.
So they decided to shelf the whole album, or you did?
They shelved the whole album. Nick Raymond at BMG, I guess they fell out with Perfecto, and then there we were out, all of us. Everybody was like free to do what you wanted to do. So at that point, I kind of started really moving around, traveling. I lived in Italy, lived in Paris. I was kind of upset about the way things went down, but I was able to retain the album and do what I wanted to do, which I haven't released it. I don't know if I will. I'm not sure because there's some vibes on it. I just thought, okay. But what did come off that album was Grace, If I Could, because Paul really liked that song. So he gave that song to Grace, If I Could, and that was the only song that came off my album that she covered it. Yeah.
Is that the one that Bruce Forrest remix, or is it Under Pressure, Grace? I can't remember.
Grace was on Perfecto. That was LTJ Bookham's
LTJ
remix.
Bookham, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Which is it's still cool. I actually listened to it not too long ago. It's a damn good song. I
So
mean,
you were, wait a minute, you were spreading out the different sounds of dance music, not just that Chicago house, New York house sound.
exactly. I was doing different things. I was doing different things. I was like, okay, it's time to go from level up to level up. And I started doing that very seriously. I took it on. I think after that, when I moved to Paris and I started working for David Guetta, and I seen the French scene it was a whole different way from London, a whole different way from the UK. Period. The French was into they serious R&B, break dancing, and disco, and they did it well, did it very well, and still doing it well. I have to say that. So Dave, I started kind of emceeing and jamming on the microphone. So he's like, "Oh, you got some songs for me?" And I wrote the song "The Movement Girl," and he took that off. That's one of those songs as well. That's like totally different. You wouldn't know that I done it unless you really see it in print. So yeah, Daft Punk as well with "If You Give Me the Love I Want." I think Guimon and Thomas was the nicest cats, man. They were like Nelly and Jazzy They were just dope dudes, man. Just really cool. And loved some classic soul and funk. I couldn't believe the French was in there. I was like, this, really? Yeah, they were really into it, man. Yeah.
They picked at you and picked at you to bring out that American sound that they wanted to have in their productions. What year was Guetta and France? Like when you stepped into France?
2002, that was pretty cool. That was a great moment because I was really kind of redefining myself. Like, okay, you want to do this sound, you want to do that. And I was hanging out on the hip hop side. There was MC Solar, who was Claude, a great guy. And I was going to the hip hop. I said, "Hey, is French really into the hip hop like that?" Yes, and that was 2002. So that's when I met Dave and I met Pedro Winter as well, because he hooked me up with Daft Punk. He was like, "Yo, man, we need a vocalist. So if you give me the love I want." I came in and sung on that. And that's a dope track, man. I don't care what they say, man. It may sound retro, but that feels good. Yeah.
Yeah, it feels very good. Are you kidding?
Yeah.
You're
Yeah. If you
great.
give
You're
me the
really
love
good.
I want.
Dude,
Yeah.
you're an awesome singer. Are you kidding? Come on now.
Oh, but because when I came in, they was like, man, we want some kind of like Sylvester kind of vibe. And I was like, okay, you want me to sing up top? So we started doing that. And
I didn't know you could hit that falsetto note. You can hit up that high?
yeah, I can get up there. Yeah, I can get there. I still can sing. I can still sing. People catch me out. They were like, you can sing like that. I was
Give
like,
me
yeah,
works the microphone, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jimmy Polo.
man. I
But
tell
see
you,
now, this is I'm trying to show people the scene of your life through your eyes. You are hustling still, even at top echelon. You're still the hustle is real. To stay in it. You went from one fabulous camp to another fabulous camp, but in between, was there any valleys? We have peaks, but was there parts where you were in the
yeah.
valley still?
I think that was probably in Italy because I was doing like I was singing with good friend of mine, David Abucci, back in the days. They call him Master Freeze, and we used to go and jam. So I used to take the mic and just go and start singing. And that kind of kept me going. Rimini, Riccione, they were the best clubs I've ever been in. Facts. I mean, Peter Pan, Pasha, Paradiso. They were just fabulous to walk in and start singing. People really felt some way about it. They was like, "Oh, cantante di buono," start singing, and that kept me going. Then I had to realize that, okay, now what do you want to do? Are you gonna go back to R&B? Are you gonna go back to house music? So I had a moment. I had to really figure out like, what are you gonna do?
Why? Was something changing in the landscape?
Yeah, I wasn't a DJ. I was a vocalist. So I wasn't like the guy that, you come in and they was like, okay, Jimmy's here, okay, you're gonna sing on this for this, and that's what it was. And I thought, okay, I'm a bit better than I can compose. So I was always a writer and a piano player. So I started doing that, more so than ever.
Because necessity makes creation. So out of necessity comes invention.
Yes.
So you're reinventing yourself.
Yes, I did. Sure did. Start thinking about films. Start thinking about films and being an actor and even, just like composing very serious pieces for
Wait a
film.
second. Wait, did you say you're like Carl Weathers, the actor?
Yeah, I did some acting. Yeah, 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 yeah.
How does acting find Jimmy Polo? Come on now, let's hear this.
Actually, that was funny because someone called me for an audition. I was like, really? I could find somebody else. They was like, no, no, no. We want you to do this. And I started doing some acting, especially in the Drajan movie now that's out now. That's up for it's won an award for best narrative film. And that was something that was cool. Gabriele Salvatore is Napoli to New York. That I auditioned for. We shot that in Trieste. Yeah, I remember that was some cool stuff, man. I'd never been on a set like that. Yeah, that was like business. Like I seen it like that's high level. And I took it on. Yeah, why not?
Did they want you to speak in your native tongue or speak in their language?
Speaking of native tongue, I speak Italian too, but that was kind of cool that they was just letting me be American. Same thing in a couple of other movies that's coming up like Hunting Tesla. So I'm speaking in American accent, playing a jazz man in a thriller film. So that's what's going on. But they're not asking me to like do anything extraordinary, but just be me. So that's kind of easy.
Where can we find these movies if we were, searching?
You can find Drajan. That's on Netflix right now. That's on Netflix right now in Europe. Also, it was in the NBA Film Awards, so it's out in America on Amazon. It won for Best Narrative Film, like I said, and that's you can find it as well. I mean, so I'm in that film playing the great Willis Reed, the legend himself. I played, I thought, okay, I could do this role. And I did it. The great legendary Willis Reed. See, the New York Knicks ain't won since he was there. So, they haven't won an NBA championship, but I had a chance to play that role in regards to giving Dražen Petrovic his contract. Can you believe it? So we had to do these scenes, and that was pretty cool. I was very inspirational. Being Willis Reed, I mean, the New York Knicks ain't won since he was there.
I know. Now let's take it a step further. So you're acting, but you also get a chance to score this.
Yes, yes.
How does the scoring come to your lap?
That came, Lubo, the director of the film, said, "Man, we need some music." I was actually in Chicago when he called me because I thought, all right, I wanted to do the soundtrack. I had been on him to ask, okay, man, come on, let me do this. He called me. I was home to see my family, and he called me and he said, "James, we need songs." So when I came back to Zagreb, I went down to the studio, played the piano, and I had a song on the mind. And he says, "Okay, okay, okay, let's do this." And we did that in real time. I was actually playing piano and watching the score, and we knocked that out. And then Helena Gude, she came in and just smoked it. What a vocalist. She came in and I was so moved. And when I seen what she had done with it, it made sense. It felt great. And when we went to premieres, people were in tears in Croatia. People was like, "Man, that really touched me. What you did." So that's one of been defining moments here, in the last year or so. Yeah, I have to say, Helena Gude, hats off to her. That's a great lady, and she can sing.
So your world opened up now in the whole Hollywood, European Hollywood scene,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah. You can say I don't know if it's Hollywood, but people know about
No
what I.
man, it's Hollywood.
Well, we'll see, man. I just think I'm trying to just give the best that I got performance wise. And this next movie coming out, Hunting Tesla. Me and Helena, we've done music for that film as well, which I think will be very emotional and very good. She's got this vibe on her voice, man. That's so cool. So when we sit at the piano, she gets it done. In the future, there's another film, Finders Keepers. So we shall see what we will do, which is really some cool stuff. But I'm blessed, blessed, man. I'll take it.
So you must be doing something good if they keep calling you back. You
I,
know what I'm saying?
well,
You got to be doing something right. I can't believe that you're bombing out here. I mean, you're doing something really good.
well, if they like what I do, I'm happy about it. I think, if you give it your best, you give it your all, yes, you can come across as the performer. And that's what I've always been able to do that since I was a kid, theater on stage or whatever, singing in church or what have you. I've always been a performer, but sometimes things kind of lead you a different path. And this is the path of the acting thing that I'm kind of doing right now.
You also told me in conversation that there's going to be an award given
Yes,
that you have
yes.
to come back to Chicago for.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Explain all that.
That's gonna be very special because it's ACLU or Friends of Croatia Society of all the people that live in America from Croatia. So they seen the Dražen movie, so they felt some way about it that I deserved a trophy for this film. So I'm cool with that because I know I put my heart and soul in it. And for me, Yeah, that's it's a great thing. On the 25th of October in Chicago, I will be receiving an award for that for the people of Croatia actually. So it's very nice to get that.
A beautiful feeling.
Yeah, yeah, I feel some way about it. Because I thought, okay, you done that. But I wouldn't think the Americans would take it on that serious, but they did. And like I said, the NBA with Mark Wahlberg and the rest of his people, man, they took that film on and they won an award. That's really cool.
It's very good. And congratulations on that award, and
Oh man,
along
big
with all
ups.
the other accolades and awards you've received over the years. What's in the plan now? We're at, let's say, the golden era of your life. Now, what's the plan moving forward? What would
The
you like to
plan,
happen?
the plan moving forward now is to do some more films, do some more film scores, and also do a great soul album. That's been on my mantra right now. I like really need to do a good soul album, jazz funk album. Working on that side of it because I thought, okay, man, you want to really do that? Yes, because it needs to be done. Because I'm people are asking me, when we gonna hear you do some more soul music again? You only did Express Yourself and a few other pieces. So I said, don't worry, I got some things coming. So I've just been on it.
Jimmy also told me he's working on some disco. Dude,
Yes, yes, the
he keeps
disco
forgetting
stuff.
about that. He don't tell anybody about that. He keeps talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah. Well,
Wait, hang on, everybody. Hang on, because Jimmy is Jimmy Hollywood Polo. So he's got Beverly Hills on his mind now.
if you say so. I mean, yeah, the disco stuff is cool. I mean, I got Helen on some really great disco stuff. We recut "Shake Your Body," me and Jeanette in Chicago. I got on a really cool disco track as well. So yeah, I'm coming back to my roots in a sense, but it sounds like it's really authentic this time. It's like really authentic. So I'm like, yeah, I got the sound right, the vibe is right. So yeah, that's important. Hmm. Yeah, that's how I feel. I mean, the disco stuff is going to be really good. It's going to shock a lot of people. Yeah, I had to get that over to you. Yes, yes.
Okay, go
Yeah.
ahead. Before I close out, but go ahead, tell us that story. Go ahead.
Regarding the disco things, yes, like I said, got Helena on some disco stuff. Jeanette Thomas, we recut the Shake Your Body. We're, kind of currently looking to make a few moves with that. But I'm really pleased that I'm back at my roots, in a sense. Like, I love all types of music. So to stay stagnant, that's something I tell young cats not to do. Don't just stay with one vibe, move around because you'll come back to it and you'll have a fresh perspective about it. So there you go.
Well, everyone, I think he covered all the points of the triangle: the beginning, the middle, and the top part, which is where he's going to be and where he keeps going.
Right.
Jimmy
True.
Polo, James Perry, thank you so much for
Thank
sharing
you.
your time with us on True House Stories.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate you, Lenny, for having me because I wanted to say so much, but sometimes you don't know if
You
anybody's really
said a lot,
listening.
but I'm going to ask you one most important question,
Yes.
and we'll leave it there. Do you see yourself ever coming back to live in Chicago?
Ooh, maybe. I miss the city. I do love it. It's a beautiful city. I just want things to get better for people that are living there and make sure that people are treated well. I think that's the key part, but it's still the city that I started. I love it. I still talk to certain people on the scene regarding, how things are going, how it's looking, but maybe one day we'll see.
As we always say never.
Exactly. I don't want to say I'm gonna stay in Europe. I've been in Europe for over 30 years. Jeez, I've been around here. I mean, I lived in every country. So
From city to city.
yeah, city to city, exactly. But one thing is for sure, I've made some great music in Europe. I can say that. Yeah. And I want to shout my man Adonis.
Another
You know,
legendary one, Adonis from
Stone
Trax
Cold
Records,
Legend, man.
man. Trax
Yes,
Records.
yes, Tracks
Those that
Records.
remember Adonis, no way back.
Back, no way
Ooh,
back. We go way back to the point where he was like, yo, man, if you need anything in Europe, man, just call me. He was like a real big bro, for real, for real. And he did that. He did that. He's like, he was on it. So that's a good musician too. I mean, comes from we come on it's like classy, like style. The dude can play bass guitar and everything, and we still talk a lot, and I really appreciate him. He's like a big brother, man. Also, Mr. Keith Nunley, I'm sad that I
May he
won't see
rest in
him.
peace. May he rest in
Yeah,
peace.
respect to him because we had wrote a song and I was supposed to, I got the song over to him. He was going to cut it. And I guess, the ancestors called him home. So, so these things, today we had to be talking about this because, a lot of us are moving forward and we have to stay on top of our game. Yeah, it even goes for
Amen.
money.
Amen to
Yeah.
you. Watch yourselves, everyone. Look
Yes.
after your health. If you get something, a pain or something doesn't feel right, go to see the doctor. Don't be afraid.
Facts.
Don't wait till the last second.
Yeah.
That last second may be non-existent momentarily.
Yeah.
Jimmy Polo.
Thank you, man. No, thank you,
Thank you, brother
Lenny, for
man.
having me.
You're a family member. You are a True House Stories alumni. And I'm so proud to bring this story to all of you so that you can learn some of the best people that did it for you. And without all of you, there'd be none of us. And on that note, take care. See you next time. Jimmy, congratulations on your awards and to your endeavors. Take
Thank
care,
you.
my
Thank you.
brother.
All right. Thank you for having me again.
You're
Yeah.
welcome.